Hello, all my Rebel Vlog listeners. We are back with a really exciting interview. We have Carla, the Cookie Monster Esparza. Thank you for taking the interview. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So I know that you're not doing a lot of social media or interviews leading up to the fight, and I just wanted to let everyone know that the reason she's doing this is because I have a lot of YouTube followers and I'm paying her in cookies. So, so if that's what you got to do to get an interview with Carla, take notes now. So, but anyway, let's get right into it. So, besides being my best friend, Carla is also a strawweight champion, or a former strawweight champion for Invicta, the first ever. She was a former strawweight champion for the UFC, first ever. She is a current strawweight fighter that is ranked number 9. She is also a 2-time All-American wrestler from Menlo College. We didn't even practice that. Carla has fought for Bellator back when there was a strawweight division in Bellator. There's not anymore. She has fought for Invicta. Obviously, she was the champion before there was even women in the UFC. So, to say the least, you are a pioneer of the sport. I'm proud to be your friend. Carla actually got me involved in MMA a long time ago, and I don't know where I would be without her because of that. So, with all that said, now you know a little bit about Carla, if you didn't already know. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in the sport back when it was very unorthodox to do this kind of sport.
Well, I think as for you, I kind of started wrestling on the boys' team. I just decided to give it a shot. Oh, this sounds cool. Fell in love with wrestling. And from there, I kind of, during our college season, would try different things during the summer to kind of stay active, but not burn out on wrestling. I would try boxing, jiu-jitsu, kickboxing, and I found Timo Yama after my freshman year, the summer going into sophomore, and I just kind of fell in love with the sport.
That's awesome. And since you bring up Timo Yama, I was going to ask you a little bit later, but I am currently part of Timo Yama, and I understand why you've been there so long, but if you guys don't know it, Carla has been with Timo Yama since the start, and I think you started back when you were how old?
About 18.
Yeah. And you've never left. We are 30 now. Ooh, don't tell anybody. And I think it's kind of different. And you don't hear about it a lot when a fighter who's been fighting for so long and is in the top show has never left. So can you tell us a little bit about that relationship you have?
Basically, I think if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've been with Colin Oyama for many years, and I feel like a lot of people get stagnant. They, hit their plateau. They stop growing. But I've never felt like I've stopped growing. I feel like I'm constantly evolving, getting better, learning more things from my coach. He has a really great style, but he's always open to learning new things himself too. Our team is constantly developing. We have the best team we've ever had actually right now. And yeah, I just feel really good being with him. He's been coaching for at least 21, 22 years.
Yeah, I actually did an interview with Dr. Kessler, the OC Fight Doc, that if you look on my page down below, you can watch it. And yeah, he brought up the fact that there's this picture of Colin Oyama with Rampage and some huge names, raised. Yeah, Razor Ramakola, all these people. And that's when I realized, I'm like, oh, my coach has been around for a minute and knows his shit. So you're a very, very loyal to Timo Yama. And obviously it's for a reason. He coached you all the way to a championship. He's still coaching you now, and you're very successful. So congratulations on a very successful career. And then let's just talk about your next fight. You are coming off a win against Mariah Moroz. It was a unanimous decision, right?
Yes.
Yes. And that was back in...
I don't know.
I know.
A couple months ago.
A few months ago, whatever. I know. If it's not an upcoming fight, we're I don't even know what day it is. But yeah, so you're coming off a win. You're in the winners column. You are now going to fight Cynthia Cavallo. But she's at Team Alpha Male. Young, up-and-coming prospect. She's undefeated in the UFC, undefeated in her MMA career. But she also has a quarter of the amount of fights that you have. So tell us a little bit about how you feel about her technically.
I think she has really good jiu-jitsu, really good scrambly jiu-jitsu, ground game. I think she's been training for a long time, so I think she definitely has she doesn't have the experience in the cage as much as I do, but definitely has the experience just being in the sport and training for a really long time, so I'm definitely not taking her lightly, and really unorthodox kind of style on the feet.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I know that a lot of people are talking about this fight because it's just a great matchup. I think you have a lot of accolades that are going to make the fight interesting, and she has a lot of accolades that are going to make the fight interesting as well. So we're looking forward to that. How did that actually get started? I'm not trying to poke the what's that expression? Poke the lion. Whatever. But was there any beef between you guys? Social media? How did that fight get started?
What had happened was I actually got I think a message from my manager, Brian Butler, and he was like, "Oh, screenshot. Oh, check this out. This girl's calling you up." I said, "What?" Yeah, I actually in the moment I was actually leaving UFC with my friends, and everyone was like, "What? This girl called you out?" I said, "Oh no, she didn't." And I was actually kind of man, because in the past people have called me out and they've trash talked me, and they kind of just said really mean things when they're calling me out. So I just kind of associate people calling me out with being disrespectful. So in the moment I was just like, "What? I'll fight this girl. Let's fight right now." And later I calmed down and I realized it was more of just "Oh, I want to fight. I wanted to fight, whatever, la la la." But yeah, I accepted the fight right off the bat, as I always have. Sight unseen, never seen her fight before, but I was like, yeah, whatever, let's take this fight, and they set it up.
That's awesome. And I think you guys are on one of the best cards of the year. It's New Year's weekend, and it's going to be December 30th in Las Vegas. So the some of the perks are that you can possibly spend New Year's in Las Vegas. Will you be doing that?
Woo! Yeah, I'm going to hang out with a few of my best friends. They're going to stay back, like this one right here. Got a room, and just gonna hopefully go party it up. Hopefully not hurt anything from hopefully coming off a win.
You will be. Cool. Well, you have post-fight plans for the holidays. That's awesome. But let's talk about the other holiday that's coming up. So, and that actually corresponds with my next question. Christmas, weight cut. Will you be eating Christmas dinner? And basically, how is your weight cut coming?
No Christmas dinner for me. I actually am really huge on holidays. I deck my place out. Christmas tree, lights, sparkles all over, presents, but that kind of takes away a lot of time and energy, away from my camp when I should be resting. So I'm kind of shying away from that. As far as Christmas dinner goes, had a little celebration with my parents last week, kind of just a breakfast thing where we got together and did presents and stuff, which was pretty cool. And I'm actually having my last cheat meal tomorrow, and it's gonna be freaking epic. I'm not sure what I'm doing yet for my last meal. I act like I'm on death row or something, but I'm gonna get some carne asada fries, some pizza, a cheeseburger, grilled cheese sandwich, french fries, and a donut. Okay. Bam.
So your weight is pretty good if you're how many weeks away from your fight and you're gonna have your last cheat meal be epic?
Yeah, less than 2 weeks away, and I weighed in 4 days ago, 7 pounds over. So weight cutting has never been a big issue for me. I think I just try and keep it professional. I'm in a good weight class for myself. So when I get to fight week, I don't like to cut more than 3 or 4 pounds. Yeah.
I could huck a loogie and make weight if that was the case. Okay, cool. So weight's on point. You're feeling good. I'm happy about all that. I guess the only thing that I really have left to talk to you about, it's kind of silly. I'm going to start doing this with all my interviews. So if you guys watch my vlogs and you want to send some questions to my Instagram when you know that I'm going to have a guest, which I always do now, before I have a guest, I give a little screenshot and let you guys know that if you want to ask my guest some questions, I'll be doing 2, maybe 3 fan questions. So Carla, you're the first. And your first question comes from Instagrammer Jabroni976, and he says, what would your last dream match be? I think he means if you're retired, or you're about to retire and that's how you want to end the career.
Well, I couldn't really speak on the actual opponent because I don't know when I'm going to retire. I don't even know if I know who this person is exists yet. But I think for me, like I have always fantasized about, just like in wrestling matches, on your last wrestling match, you go to the center of the mat, you leave your wrestling shoes, and you walk off. And I've kind of fantasized something similar, like taking my MMA gloves off, leaving them in the center of the cage, and walking off. I've always kind of thought about that.
Oh, good idea. Me too. Me too. Okay. And then the last question is a two-part question from Instagrammer Dan Kenny. And it is 1, what is her favorite cookie? And 2, who was her favorite opponent ever?
Really important question right here, guys. So favorite cookie. I'm a huge chocolate fan, chocoholic. I would, chocoholic anonymous. I would have a double chocolate chip cookie, warm, and some people like it crunchy, some people like it moist. I like a soft cookie, just like.
Oh my goodness.
I love my cookies. See? Cookie Monster shirt.
Nice. What is this shirt you got going on here?
This is actually my signature fight shirt I am just coming out with. And I haven't come out with a fight walk shirt, a walkout shirt in like years because, now in the UFC, like we don't have that. But it's so cool to kind of like have something that's mine and like signature that people can support me with and stuff. So, awesome. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. I mean, we're not talking about sponsorships right now, but if I wanted to get one of those cool shirts, where would I go?
On my Instagram, I have the website up top, and then if not, I'm gonna make a post that's gonna have website for it too.
Cool. All right, and then just the last part of Mr. Kenny's question was, who was her favorite opponent ever?
Favorite opponent ever, for sure, would have to be Felice Herrig, one of my other best friends. She's an amazing person. We didn't know each other before we fought, but it was just such a tough fight. I think we had like a really great respect for each other after the fight. We ended up training together and just got along super great. And so yeah, she's my fave.
Yeah, I've seen that happen very rarely. I think Uriah Hall and Kelvin Gastelum did that. They were on the show together, and then they end up being besties. I've actually been very nice to some of my former opponents and had them reciprocate it. And I think it's great because, one, how many women fight this sport at the top level? And if you can just leave it all out there, and you can respect each other, I think you probably could be friends, maybe even for life. Like you and Felice seem to be like friends forever.
Yeah, for sure.
So last part of my little interview, as you guys know, I like to give my interviewee a chance to tell you guys where to find them on social media. So Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, where can they find you?
On Instagram and Twitter, you can find me at Carla Esparza-1, and on Facebook, my fan page is Carla Esparza.
Awesome. And then do you have any sponsors or anyone that you would like to thank?
For this camp, I want to thank Hydrolite, which is like a rehydration drink. I use it every day. Basic Fit Foods for feeding me every day. Thank you, and getting my weight down. OC Fight Dogs, because I'm always a broken BZ, and they fix me. And just my team Oyama, and my training partners.
Well, thank you for doing the interview. Again, you guys can find her at the social media handles. She will be fighting December 30th against Cynthia Cavallo. Okay. Don't forget to watch that. That's UFC219. Is that going to be a pay-per-view?
Yes.
Oh, so by that, I'll be there in person. Come out to Vegas. Come to the after party. Thanks for doing the interview, girl.
Awesome. Thanks, girl.